No lie, no lie, no lie, yeah. No.
NFL fans, thank you for joining us for the No Cap Recap, FFSN's football weekly recap. We're going to recap week 9. We usually go after Monday Night Football. Tonight, the Monday night game between the Tampa Bay Bucks and the Kansas City Chiefs are just now getting ready to begin overtime. So we're going to go ahead and get into some of these other games and keep it short and simple. We're going to go from there. So Big G couldn't make it this evening, having technical difficulties, but we got the homie Pay in the building. Pay, what's happening, man?
What's going on, Tate? Another crazy week of ridiculous outcomes with this game we love.
Man, do we love it? It was another ridiculous week, man. Some teams I think, are done.
I think 2-7 will put you in the done category, and there's a lot of 2-7 teams.
A lot of 2-7 teams. Where's my Oh, there they go. All right, well, let's get started real quick, man. So this week we had, once this Monday night game is over, we have a total of 30 teams that will have played this weekend. 2 teams were on bye. Those 2 teams that were on bye this week were the Pittsburgh Steelers and the San Francisco 49ers, the only teams on bye this week. So I believe San Francisco was 4-5, Pittsburgh is 6-2, and they're the only teams. They were the only teams that definitely didn't take an L or get a W this week. So let's jump into it, Pay. Game 1 was Thursday night football. The Texans versus the Jets. I have to admit, this one surprised me, bro. What'd you think about this game?
The only thing surprising that is the Jets actually won a game. The first time they won a game since they fired Robert Saleh for no reason, well, other than not being a best friend with Aaron. Another thing that didn't surprise me, they don't give the ball to Breece Hall. You know, again, he's not one of Aaron's buddies, so he doesn't get the ball as much. But everything that happened with Houston is not surprising. Houston is they have a good record. They have a great record. They're probably going to win a division going away, but they don't look as crisp as they did last year. CJ Stroud hasn't had a good game in 3 straight weeks now. He was running for his dear life in this game. The Jets was in his kitchen the whole game. He was never comfortable. Tank Dell and Dalton Schultz, they got a heavy load to carry, trying to carry that offense with Nico Collins being still on the IR, Stephon Diggs out for the season. You thought that they might run away with this game, I'm using that word intentionally because Joe Mixon, he had his way with that Jets defensive front seven. It was just that their pass defense was just destroying Houston. For some reason, they didn't lean on Joe Mixon the way I thought they would, and they end up losing this game. Pretty convincing. I know it says the final score is not indicative of how close this game was. The game was not really that close. The Jets the Jets were in control of this game for more than half of it. But yeah, it's not necessarily surprising. Houston is still in flux, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And I think it was for the Jets, it was a tale of 2 halves. I mean, I feel like Houston had, controlled the pace of the game with Joe Mixon in the first half. They definitely missed Nico Collins. Their O-line is banged up and they're giving up a ton of sacks. But they were controlling the pace in the first half with Joe Mixon. The Jets even went down and done jet-like things where the dude dropped the ball before he crossed the goal line.
I don't know why players still do that. I don't know why. It seems like you see this every year. Somebody runs into the end zone, drops the ball before they cross the goal. And it was a touchback too, right? So they took the it was his first, wasn't it his first career carry?
I thought it was a reception. It was the dude. Was it the dude Corley?
Either his first career carry or his first career reception. He took it for a touchdown. Well, it wasn't a touchdown because he fumbled the ball and went to the back of the end zone for a touchback. That would destroy me if that was me. Like, wow, I can't believe I blew it like that. To the credit, they actually let him get back in the game. I wouldn't have done it.
But yeah, I mean, I think you gotta let that guy back in and just get it out of the system, get it over with again. You know what I mean? But Aaron Rodgers was like 15 for 18 in the second half with 3 touchdowns. I think in the first half he only passed for like 39 or 40 yards, somewhere around there. He hit Devontae Adams. Who else did he hit for a touchdown?
Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson had 2 of them.
Garrett Wilson, the crazy catch. That's right. So
yeah, like Michael Jordan.
I'm sorry.
It looked like Michael Jordan on that one catch that was probably not in bounds, but we'll take it.
Better catch. His or OBJ against the Cowboys.
Oh, easily OBJ. OBJ's catch defies physics.
No, I'd agree with you too. I'd agree with you on that one. But yeah, so the Jets now move to, I believe, 3-6, and there's talk in Gang Green world of the Jets making a playoff run. I don't know.
No,
I don't think so either. But I was talking to Browns fans just the day before the game, and they were going to make a playoff push after the way Jameis performed in that game against Baltimore. That quickly went to shreds. But let's move on, Pay. Let's get to game 2. Game 2, the Saints and the Panthers. 2 NFC South teams. The Panthers get a win today. Coach Allen. Is it Allen?
Yeah, Bruce Allen. Oh, Dennis Allen. I'm sorry.
Dennis Allen, yeah. Got fired. He deservedly, I think. Now, you remember, wasn't it all that long ago, man? About what, a month and a half ago, the Saints started out 2-0 and looked like the best team in the first 2 weeks of football.
One of the best offensive in NFL history after 2 games. If you scale it back to how they ended last season, they were on a streak of what I think it was 4 straight games of 40 points or more. Yeah, but now 7 straight losses, and that last loss to the Carolina Panthers.
So update: Kansas City is 3rd. Kareem Hunt got in the end zone. Kansas City wins the game.
Mm-hmm.
So
they do not cover.
They did not cover. They were favored by 8.
Yeah, it was over a touchdown, and this is typical for them. If they're over a touchdown favorite, they won't cover.
No, I completely agree, man. You never know. You never know what KC is going to do. They're just going to find a way to win in the end, man.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and yesterday's game, back to the Panthers real quick. We'll get to the Chiefs after this. Back to the Panthers real quick. Bryce Young started yesterday because Andy Dalton, we know last week, got hurt in a car accident.
Shout out to Bryce Young. First time in his career he got to line up in victory formation. And that
wasn't his first win, was it?
First time he got to line up in victory formation.
Oh, okay.
But it was his first career game-winning drive. He led the team to a TD drive that put them up for good. Chuba Hubbard had 2 touchdown runs against the Saints as well. Yeah, but both teams right now are sitting at 2 wins. But as you can feel like the 2 wins don't feel equal. Carolina's maybe treading water. They know who they are. They know they're bad, but they're trying to still figure it out. But New Orleans just keep getting worse and worse and worse as you as you would be if you lose to the Carolina Panthers.
Right. No, I agree. So yeah, that's why Dennis Allen got fired. It's like the first game ever where you rush for over 170 yards, you outgain your opponent by 270, and you don't turn the ball over and you lose.
Michael Thomas. Am I saying his name right? The wide receiver for the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, Michael Thomas.
Michael Thomas. Yeah, he was on X or whatever they call it nowadays. And he's blaming Derek Carr. I don't disagree with him.
Yeah, well, blaming Derek Carr for hanging Chris Olave out to dry, right?
True, that and a bunch of losses. Just generally being overrated.
Derek Carr just came back though.
First game back, and he took the L.
Yeah, but I think that Michael Thomas stuff was more about him taking up for his Ohio State brethren. That's what I think that was about. But yeah, man. So let's get on to the Monday Night Football game. Kansas City Chiefs go ahead and take it 30-24 in overtime. Chiefs won the coin toss. Patrick Mahomes took the ball, took him down and scored in the first possession. It's a wrap. Didn't cover. Chiefs go to 8-0. Bucks go to 4-5. Have to say, I'm never impressed with what the Chiefs do. They just win. This game, even more than anything, lets me know they're beatable. They play a lot of close games, man. I don't want to look too far ahead, but the Steelers got them on Christmas Day in Pittsburgh. So I'm looking forward to that one, Pay.
I'm sure you are.
The Bucks dropped to 4-5, but I believe they're just a game and a half behind the Atlanta. But Atlanta's beat them twice, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Atlanta has beat Tampa Bay twice, which is definitely works out in some other NFC teams' favor because Tampa Bay is not a bad team. However,
it's not a bad team. That's why I was going to get at too.
Yeah, but with all the injuries they got piling up on the offensive side of the ball, and them losing some games in conference and divisions, you're not going to play well for them as it gets in the colder months, and you need those tiebreakers.
Right. No, I agree with that. I mean, so unless they can overtake, I mean, and they're up. I think Atlanta is 6-3.
Yes.
And Tampa Bay's 4-5. So
yes,
they're up 2 games in the loss column. Well, 2.5 actually, because they won both games. So yeah, they got to do some work to catch the Buccaneers. I think it's safe to say the Panthers and Saints are out of that mix.
Yep.
And then so they need to get on a win streak just to keep up with the teams in the North. They could be battling with your Chicago Bears.
They're tied.
Right. They could be battling for that last playoff spot.
Well, yeah, it could come down to that way. They both need some help because they're both 2 games out of the last spot as of right now.
Both 2 games out?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I guess all 3 teams in the North make it that are ahead of Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And the East, you got Philly and Washington.
Well, actually, Tampa Bay hasn't had their they haven't had their bye yet, so they're 2.5 out.
No, Tampa Bay just went to 4-5. They haven't had their bye yet. Right. Correct. My bad. But so the 3 NFC North teams as of right now, the Eagles and the Commanders, that's 5 teams. There's 7 teams. Right now, I believe the Arizona Cardinals are in first place in the West.
Yes.
And the NFC South is Atlanta. So yeah, 7 teams right there. So yeah, they're on the outside looking in right now. The Bears and the whole NFC West, they bunched right near to it at 4-5, and well, the Bears are 4-4, so I guess the Bears are ahead of Tampa Bay right now.
Yeah, the Bears are ahead of Tampa Bay. They have the head-to-head tiebreaker with the Rams, who are also 4-4, and the 49ers are 4-4 as well. Addison on their bye. Same with the Seahawks, 4-4.
Oh yeah, so that last spot It's going to be a battle. So you think Dallas gets back in it?
No.
Well, we'll talk about them in a minute. But yeah, Patrick Mahomes takes them down, wins the game. I was pretty impressed, like I am most weeks, man, lately, since he's not in Cleveland. I'm pretty impressed with Baker Mayfield, man.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield is one of the best quarterbacks in the league this year. Even without all his weapons, he's still pretty good. I mean, he's a little careless. Not, I don't want to use the word careless, but he does put the ball up there for the defense to make a play on it. That's probably keeping him out of the elite talks. But as far as like production, he's definitely produced at an elite level this year.
Did you make that fantasy trade?
They have not sent me an offer yet.
Okay. Baker was 23 of 31, 200 yards, 2 tubs. And he's still playing without Mike Evans. So I think that's actually pretty good. But so yeah, Chiefs win it. Patrick Mahomes get the ball last. It's a wrap 9 times out of 10. So let's move on. We're gonna get back to the other games, the afternoon games on Sunday. We got the Commanders and the Giants. Commanders winning 27-22 at MetLife Stadium. It was a competitive game. I think so far, Big G has been saying it. Jaden Daniels is currently front runner for Rookie of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
Was Joe Burrow Rookie of the Year?
No.
Who won that year? That was 19.
That's
probably why.
Yeah, he did get hurt, and I believe 2019. Who else was in that draft? I don't really recall off the top of my head, but I know Joe Burrow didn't win it because, as you said, he was hurt that year. He got hurt. He tore his ACL, I believe, after 7 weeks. But in any case, in this game, the New York Football Giants and
it was Nick Bosa.
I don't remember that at all. No, that's a defensive Rookie of the Year.
No, who was the Rookie of the Year in the NFL? Kyler Murray.
That makes sense.
Yeah, Kyler Murray. But okay, so what about the Giants?
So Justin Herbert won it.
Why did I say Kyler Murray before that draft?
Right. Yeah, Justin Herbert won Rookie of the Year that in 2020 draft. In any case, the Washington Commanders, the DC Commanders avoided a trap game loss after that emotional win last week. And that puts them at 7-2 on the season. And they are now tied. Well, this is now the best start in franchise history. Well, not in franchise history. I'm sorry. This is the best start for this franchise since 1996, before the Snyder era. The Giants, they have the inverted record. They're 2-7, one of the many 2-7 teams that we're going to talk about. They come into this game as a 4-point home dog and have now lost 4 straight games and haven't won a game at home at all. Remember that next week when you want to bet them. Terry McLaurin, we talked about Ohio State, where our receivers, 2 touchdowns.
He did have 2 touchdowns, a 1-yard touchdown, a 6-yard touchdown. I mean, it's not like Jaden Daniels dropping back and cutting it loose deep. He has a couple times, but most of his stuff is like RPO, within the box action, So he had a 1-yard touchdown. Another one wasn't that long either. So, but still, good for his stats. He's the second highest rushing quarterback in the league behind Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
What up, Kenneth McNair? Afton Pay is saying Murray, Herbert, Chase, and Wilson in that order.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Garrett Wilson? Because now think about Garrett Wilson and Sauce both won Rookies of the Year. Can't be Garrett Wilson. That had to be like 21. This Garrett Wilson's second year, right? Or third year? Third year.
Right. This is third year.
He won Rookie of the Year, but the year 19. Yeah, Afton is saying yes, Murray. Okay. So shout out to everybody in the live chat for rocking with us, man. We really appreciate all our loyal listeners. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button while we're here. If you haven't subscribed to the KnoItAllz channel, now is a perfect opportunity to do so. He's sitting here hanging out with the homie Pay. We trying to get it in real quick, go over these games. Pay, we just talked about Commanders, Giants, and both their last opponents were the Giants. His last opponent was the Giants. And we play this week. So, interesting. Let's go to two more games. We'll take a break. Buffalo Bills beat the Miami Dolphins 30-27. This was a competitive game. It came down to a last 61, 62-yard field goal as time expired.
That's correct. That's correct. The Dolphins put him in position for that 60-yard field goal. Former Buffalo Bills safety Jordan Poyer had a dumb penalty that moved them closer. Even 61-yard field goal is not close at all. But in 2024, this is like a layup to these kickers now. These kickers drug test them, all of them. Even with Tua back for his second week, and he played well. Devon Achane had 2 touchdowns. He played well as well. But they just can't beat Josh Allen at all. That's what this game tells me. Even when they play a decent game, even when they don't lay down to the Buffalo Bills, they still can't beat them. Miami did cover that 6 points though, so shout out to them. Buffalo sitting at 7-2. They might wrap this division up by Thanksgiving because they swept this season series with Miami already, and Miami's 2-7. The Jets are 3-6, and the other team in that division, I'm blanking on who that is.
The
Jets, Miami. Oh yeah, Jets, Miami. The Jets are 3-6. Miami's 2-7. Buffalo 7-2, and the who's the fourth team?
Patriots.
The Patriots are terrible. They got 2 wins too. They're 2-6. See, this division's over by Thanksgiving.
The Patriots. I don't know if you remember, because my wife watched this junk. Remember the show Basketball Wives?
Yes. That's still come on, don't it?
Do it? I don't know. Remember the chick Evelyn that went with was married to, who was she married to?
Chad Ochocinco.
Yeah, but it was a basketball player before that. I think it was Antoine Walker.
Probably, yeah.
And then, but she used to tell people, you a non-effing factor. That's what the Patriots are. A non-effing factor.
That's true. They are not a factor unless you're the New York Jets.
Right. Well, yeah, because they beat the Jets. I'm not drinking the Jets green flavored Kool-Aid yet, man. I mean, they're 3-6, and I think it's going to take 10 wins, which means they can have one more loss and win the rest of their games to have a chance in the AFC, I believe.
They're cooked.
I believe they're cooked too, but you gotta let the fans have their belief as long as they're mathematically alive. So in this one, Chargers versus Browns. 27-10 Chargers. Some heads should be rolling in Cleveland. I don't know if it should be Kevin Stefanski. I don't know if it should be Andrew Berry, the GM. I don't know if it should be Jameis Winston after how he played yesterday. But this team is a tire fire, man.
The carriage turned back. The carriage turned back into a Cleveland Brown yesterday. The offense and defense had no answers for the team that was playing. The Los Angeles Chargers were now 5-3, sneaky 5-3 team, right? They came into this game as a 2-point fave, and they had no issues with the Browns whatsoever. The Browns, they look lifeless. You say some hair should roll. Maybe they should, because this team is listless. I blame Deshaun, even if he didn't play. I still blame him. It's his fault. James got sacked 6 times. He threw 3 picks. I don't blame Jameis for being Jameis. That's who Jameis is.
That's who Jameis is.
Yeah. Herbert had 2 long TD passes, and both of those TD passes looked to me, and while I was looking at the all 22 highlights of the game, it looked like there was broken coverage on both of those TD passes. So that goes into your head should roll theory. But they got a lot of issues over there in Cleveland. And even though I want to blame Deshaun for 98% of them, somebody else got to start taking some blame too.
And that's just par for the course with Jameis. He threw 3 touchdowns, no picks last week.
Mm-hmm.
This week he throws 3 picks. There you go.
Hey, water finds his level.
That's like when he was 30 for 30, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's on course, on pace to do that again. Well, Pay, let's take a quick break real quick, man. Here's some few words from our sponsors. If you listen on YouTube, we're not going anywhere. We just got to hear a couple words from our sponsors for our audio side, and we'll be right back after this. In the spirit of Big G, that was a fine.
I don't know. I didn't hear what happened you over there. You got to find yourself?
No, I heard your phone vibrate. That's why you're looking at it.
No lie, yeah. No.
And we're back on the No Cat recap. The no lie, just translated to no cap. So that's what we talking about. The games, no cap, giving you the real, nothing but the real, nothing but the truth. Some people, if your team lost and is really bad, you can handle the truth. So we're going to go ahead. So like the Cleveland Browns fans, they probably can't handle the truth. But Pay, I know you talked about watching different podcasts and stuff. You don't get to do it as much because you're so busy doing your own thing, man. But if you ever get a chance, man, check out the episode or 2 of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. It's kind of cousin to where you going with the frustrated Chicago sports fans, because them boys well, not with the Cavs though, right? Not with the Cavs. But we're gonna get into basketball, the 8-0 Cavs being undefeated so far in the early part of the season. Let's go to the game 6. Patriots and Titans. Remember, I picked this game. I took the Titans. I think they cover. I think it was 2.5.
2.5, 3.5, something like that.
No, I'll say 3.5. 3.5, I ain't covered. 2.5, I covered.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to touch this game, and this is why. This was a terrible game. Mason Rudolph versus Drake May. Not your classic quarterback matchup, but the Titans find a way to win in overtime. And that's, unless you got anything to say, that's all the time we'll spend on this game.
Depending on where you got this line, the Pats may have covered or the Tennessee Titans may have covered, but albeit no matter where you got it at, one thing is for certain: Drake May is exciting. He might be a little reckless, right? But that touchdown pass he threw to Ramondre Stevenson at the end of the fourth quarter, send this game to overtime. That's crazy work. That's crazy. But blame the Titans. Blame the Titans for only sending 2 at them. Why are you rushing 2 in the red zone? That's dumb. I
mean, because you can cover a lot more with 9 playing coverage. You got to get rid of it sometime.
But if you got your quarterback out there running around for God knows how for 10 seconds, somebody's gonna flash open. And somebody did.
I think the thing Yes, Pay. I think you give him too much credit because it was 0 seconds left when he had to just throw it up.
Yeah,
That was lucky. That was lucky.
It was. You can call it luck because he did just toss it up there, but he also saw that Lamondre Stevenson got around his man, and he was over there on that whole side of the field with nobody in front of him. If there's 9 guys back there playing defense, where were the rest of them at? Was it 8 on the other side of the field? What was that at? Because again, why are you rushing 2? That don't make good sense. Force the quarterback to make that mistake quicker.
I agree with you as far as that goes, but I don't think he saw Ramondre Stevens. I think he just threw it up. Ramondre Stevens in the right place at the right time. That's all.
If that's the case, Tennessee's got bad secondary coverage.
I would be more apt to agree with that. The Cowboys. Are the Cowboys Chef Boyardee Pay? Are they cooked?
Are they ravioli?
Are they ravioli? Are they
Yes.
cooked in the pot?
Yeah, they definitely cooked in the pot.
I read they were Dak is out for a few weeks.
Yeah, I didn't see that, but listen, they got a lot of issues going on in Dallas right now. As a lot of lip readers have seen today, you saw Dak on the sideline saying we bleeping suck. And yeah, I agree, Dak. I agree, Mr. Dakota. The Cowboys lost 27-21 to the home team Falcons. Dallas is in a bad spot, Tate. Before the game, they suspended veteran Zeke, for skipping meetings. What kind of vet are you skipping meetings? They're getting 12 men on the field penalties on 4th down. Dak hurt, Micah hurt, CD hurt. Whole season spiraling out of control. They're 3-5 now. Respect to the Falcons, though. This isn't, I don't want to take nothing away from them. I said they weren't going to be good this season. I was wrong. They're decent. I don't want to go too far. I don't want to go too far and say they're good, but
I think me and Big G picked them to win the division.
You did.
And after the first 2 weeks, I was ready to change to the Saints. How they look, but
they're decent. They're a decent team. They're 6-3. They'll take nothing away from them. They head to week 10 to play another discombobulated team that we talked about earlier, division rival, New Orleans Saints. So they'll be 7-3.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like. So yeah, Dallas is done. Shout out to the homie, KnoItAllz homie Mod. I know he probably sulking somewhere right now. He old corner time. He bet Big G that the Cowboys win at least 12 games. I think right now to do that, they got to win the rest of their games. They do.
Math checks out.
So yeah, man. So shout out to the homie Captain Kirk, man. He always good for 250 and 2 to 3 tubs. The next game Pay is the Bengals versus the Raiders. This game killed my fantasy. Joe Burrow threw 5 tubbies, none of which to Jamar Chase or T. Higgins. He threw it to regular dudes.
T. Higgins didn't play, but somebody has been stepping up all season. That's Osafas? I can't pronounce his name. Listen.
Oh, the guy I know you got. I can't think of it. I know you're talking about the number 80.
Yeah. Coach Tonio, former New York Giant. He's had enough of Luke Getsy's crap, and he fired him shortly after this game. Luke Getsy is the offensive coordinator for the Raiders, former offensive coordinator for the Raiders. This is the second time in this calendar year that Luke Getsy's been fired as somebody's offensive coordinator. I don't know why they decided to fire him after this game, because it was the defense that got their hind parts kicked in. As you said, Burrow threw 5 touchdown passes, and this is the second time he's done that all season.
Well, I think they like Patrick Cunningham. If Burrow keeps winning, they are he's in MVP discussion.
No, he's not.
If he can get 11 wins, 4 and 5 right now,
so he would have to go. He would have to only lose one more game.
Yeah, that's probably not happening.
That's not going to happen.
But so they play the Baltimore Ravens this week on Thursday Night Football.
Mm-hmm. A matchup of an actual MVP candidate and the Bengals. But no disrespect to the Bengals. This win keeps their season alive. They are 4-5 on the season, only 1.5 games out of the final playoff spot, trailing the Broncos, who, as you said, we are heading to their game.
We are headed to their game. I believe it's right now. 41-10. The Ravens take the Broncos out. I think the Broncos scored 10 points early, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
The Ravens defense cut that water off. Bo Nix hadn't been looking as good as he had been looking for the past 3 or 4 games. And I want Sean Payton to have a losing season. So I hope this is the start where they start revealing their true selves. Not a Sean Payton fan. And but they I thought they had a decent defense, but yeah, the Ravens just scored all over them, 41 points. Shout out to the Ravens. They go to 6-3, half game behind the Steelers, who are 6-2 at the bye week. The Ravens have a bye week coming, but like they got the Bengals this week on Thursday Night Football. That's a big one because the Bengals can go to 5-5 and be just a game behind the Ravens.
Mm-hmm. True.
And, yeah, I don't know. I probably, the Bengals scare me more than the Ravens, man. As a Steelers fan, I think I'd rather see the Bengals lose to the Ravens and push them out a little further, and then we just would be a 2-team race for the North with Pittsburgh and Baltimore. That's my thoughts on that. But the Ravens look real good. Derrick Henry is arguably Offensive Player of the Year, if not the MVP. Typically goes to a quarterback. I like what Derrick Henry's doing, Pay.
Yeah, Derrick Henry's he's probably the best $9 million bargain you can find anywhere in any industry in this world. I don't know why you would prefer to see the Bengals. The Ravens, both Bengals and Ravens defense are disgusting, both terrible. But at least the Ravens, they have players over there. So they in one game to win all, big players, stars make big plays. And it's more stars on that defensive side. On the other side of the ball, the Ravens, they're probably the best offense still in the league. And you saw that against that really good defensive squad for the Denver Broncos. They gave them 41 across their forehead, easily covering that 9-point spread. Proven last week was just an aberration against the Cleveland Browns. I said in one of our shows that Lamar and everybody else on that team had a horrible game. They came back around and showed you that, yeah, that's not us. This is us. Lamar Jackson had a perfect passer rating, one of 3 QBs in the league with 20 touchdown passes, Joe Burrow and Baker Mayfield, the other 2. Bo Nix made a great TD reception in this game, but he's still struggling with basic QB plays. So it's a work in progress over there in Denver. Like you said, Baltimore improves to 6-3. Denver, they're 5-4, still in the mix. AFC West.
They are, but not for long. Kansas City just went to 8-0, right?
Nah, that division's over too.
I think so. So they're one of the 5-4 teams fighting for a playoff spot in the AFC.
5-4 puts them right ahead of one game. Like I said, they're one game ahead of Cincinnati for the last playoff spot.
I give this entire game to you, Pay, the Bears versus Cardinals. What happened, man? What's going on with your Bears, man? Like they didn't look really good yesterday. They didn't look like it. Like, I mean, did that Hail Mary kind of take something out of them?
It has to. If you want an entire emotion-filled rant on this game, I have an 8-minute long rant on this game at the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan channel, YouTube page, and everywhere you get your audio. Actually, no, it's not on audio. It's just on YouTube. But if you want that, it's right there for you. Quickly for this one, the Bears season is coming apart at the seams. The Bears rush defense took the game off, and they gave up 8 runs of 9 yards or better. 5 of those runs were 15 yards at least. This is exactly how you can tell the Bears team is falling apart. They let one bad win snowball into two. If you have vets in the locker room, if you have good coaches, that doesn't happen. Obviously, it happened with the Bears. They lost by 20 points. Nobody on that team no position group had a good game. Not the offense, not the wide receivers, not the quarterback, not the offensive line, not the defensive line, not the linebackers, not the secondary. Everybody stunk. And it's about time we start asking questions like, is it time that the Bears head coach, Matt Eberflus, joined his former offensive coordinator, Luke Getsy, in an unemployment line? Because the Bears have fallen behind the A-ball in that division, the NFC North. Now 2 games out.
So you fire Eberflus. Who's your pick right now as new coach?
I can take any coach off any staff. Ben Johnson from Detroit.
That's who I'm with too. Ben Johnson from Detroit. I like that fit. I think he gets Caleb Williams out of him what he can get out of him. You run an offense similar to Detroit. You have the pieces. Is Keenan Allen on the trade block? Why don't I hear you?
He should have never been traded to the Bears to begin with. But he might be. The Bears have one more game before.
I saw an article with that in there today.
It wouldn't. I mean, they traded a fourth round pick or third round pick for him.
Fourth.
Traded a 4th round pick for him. I was staunchly against it. I said you can draft a wide receiver in the 4th round. Pretty good wide receivers are found in the 4th round. Just go do that, and they're cheaper, and you have them for 3 to 5 years. You only have Keenan Allen for 1 year if you don't resign him, which I'm entirely against then, and I'm still against it now. Keenan Allen's he's been dropping too many passes this season. He's just, I don't know if he's healthy, but he's not all the way there. If we could get another 4th round back for him, I'll take it tomorrow.
Right. Okay. So who the Bears got next? Their schedule is tough.
Well, they have the New England Patriots next week. And then after that, division games start.
And they got the 49ers in there.
Yeah, and the 49ers in there as well. I don't think the 49ers are all that tough, but yeah, they're in that game as well.
Okay. Next game, Pay. Jaguars, Eagles. This was a good one. Man, my fantasy team, Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley got me like a combined 74 points, and I still couldn't do nothing with them. Saquon Barkley, you see that little pass he caught, little screen pass, and he spun off dude and jumped up, straddled dude backwards.
He straddled him, huh?
Pause. But yeah, he hurled him.
The Jags made a game out of it, but Saquon and the Eagles held on to win. I think the game was 22-0 at one point. And then I looked up like, whoa. This is a 5-point game?
Right.
But yeah, I saw that play. Saquon made the play of the week with a move video game developers ain't even thought of yet. That's how crazy that play was. Someone explained it to me. I said, that don't even sound right. Then I saw it like, wow.
Yeah.
When you see hurdles, it's somebody trying to, almost trying to spear somebody, and they just jump over him. The guy Saquon jumped over was standing straight up. He Vince Carter'd him.
Right, yeah. Frederick Weiss, right?
Yeah.
But the Eagles win the game. Trevor Lawrence chokes it up again. He throws an interception. Like, I think, that last play he was throwing it to Dearness Johnson, the running back. He didn't even throw a pass like he was throwing it to a running back. I mean, you can't just put it up like a running back and go up and get it. You got to throw it on his body.
Trevor Lawrence is still learning how to play football at this level.
I don't think he's as good as we thought he was coming out.
Well, but it might be true.
Rams Seahawks. That was a great game with the overtime. Let Matt Stafford get the ball last, just like Patrick Mahomes got the ball last today. Geno drove him down, tied it up, did his Baker Mayfield. Stafford got the ball in overtime. No, the Seahawks got the ball first in overtime. They went for a 4th and 1 and got stuffed.
Mm-hmm.
Then Stafford took him down. Puka Nacua got ejected in the second quarter. Cooper Kupp had a decent game. For Seattle, Jackson Smith and Jigba had his best game as a professional. I think like 180 and 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
He was balling out. Typical Ohio State receiver status. But yeah, man. So this division's bunched up. I think I don't think nobody's gonna fire sale in this division because it's so tight with 8 or 9 games left. I would love the Seahawks for to trade DK Metcalf to the Steelers, but that ain't happening.
Nah. Yeah. The play of this game for me is when Geno threw that 100-yard pick six.
Yeah, Cam Kitchens, rookie out of the Hurricanes, Miami Hurricanes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Geno, he's been throwing the ball all over the field. I think he leads the league in passes completed and attempted, maybe even pass yards as well. But yeah, I don't know if I like that fit for their offense. If Geno being this type of gunslinger, I don't know if that fits his tools. I don't know if that fits what the type of players they have there. I think they need more of a mix. But as I've said before, I don't think they have an offensive identity. And
they don't. But the way Mike McDonald coaches, the defense is pretty stout. I think they need to develop a running game identity with Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. I think that's what they would need to lean on. And when Geno got to pass it, it's off play action, it's off bootleg, it's off rollout. The game will be much easier and cleaner if they were to do that.
I agree.
Yeah, so they're like 4 and 5 though, right?
Yeah, they're 4 and 5. Last place in that division. They started 3-0.
They did start 3-0. Another Fugazi team had us fooled.
Mm-hmm.
And the last game we got to talk about real quick. Sunday Night Football, the Colts and Vikings. The Vikings win 21-13. Two good defenses. I feel like the Colts only scored 2 field goals. Sam Darnold threw a pick 6. It was 10-zip early in the game, and the Vikings ended up winning 21-13. And Sam Darnold threw like 3 picks.
Yeah, I do not have the Colts as a good defense. They have good defensive players on the defensive line. I don't think the defense is that good.
What you think about what's the kid's name? Zaire Franklin in the middle.
Zaire Franklin? Yeah, he's coming along. I like him as a he's pretty good, but I don't have him in the upper echelon yet. He can definitely get there.
He's been 5 years a captain. I mean,
not yet for him. There's still too many players in front of him. No, but he's good.
Yeah, I think with him and DeForest Buckner and the big dude number 90 in the middle, I like him in that triangle right there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The two interior defensive linemen and Zaire Franklin, and then the other dude, what's his name? Is it Speed or Goodspeed or something like that? Godspeed, yeah. He's a decent linebacker too. So I think they top half in defense in the league. I'm not saying they like top 5 or top 10, but
they've got talent. It's just they haven't, that talent hasn't shown itself to have defensive staying power this year. They've given up a lot of plays. They haven't done what they've needed to do as far as getting people off the field, keeping numbers down, and some of that has to go with their offense too. Their offense doesn't really do them a lot of favors either. But what they're 4 and 5 right now in the season.
Yeah, they're 4 and 5.
Yeah, I mean they're as a unit. Well, not as a unit, but as a team, as a collective. They're just not a good squad.
But at 4-5, when you're in a division with Houston, who's trending down 5-3, 5-4.
Mm-hmm.
Which one?
Well, Houston is trending down. DJ's had a few bad games in a row, but the Colts are fugazi. They are 4 wins. They have 2 more wins than they deserve. They should not have beaten the Pittsburgh Steelers. They should not have beaten the Bears. And there's probably another team in there that should not have won. If you pay attention to them, 4 wins, like where did they come from? This is not a good squad because Anthony Richardson is probably the worst quarterback in the league. Joe Flacco, there's a shelf life on that. Jonathan Taylor's he's had an IR stint this season. So it's I can't explain it to you. They've got luck. They've more luck than they're good.
Right. I would probably be inclined to agree with you, but they're only a game and a half out of first place in that division. They played the Colts. They played the Texans tough the first game. So we'll see what happens. I'm just saying that that division is such right now with CJ Stroud not playing good and being a mass unit down in Houston that you never know.
Mm-hmm.
So with that Sunday night game, Pat, we're going to go ahead and get ready to get out of here, man. I want to ask you, I want you to go ahead and tell them about the KnoItAllz crew and anything you can think of, all the shows we collectively got together on FFSN.
Thanks for everybody for stopping with us on Monday, late Monday night to get this early viewing of the No Cap recap of NFL Week 9. The next up and this universe of shows between me, B Dirt, and the KnoItAllz crew, you've got Pump Your Brakes on Wednesday, right?
Wednesday, yes.
Yeah, Wednesday, Pump Your Brakes. You got Pay Dirt also on Wednesday, and that's not to ignore the various shows between Running the Jungle. That's also on Wednesday they have a live show. Frustrated Chicago Sports Fans has something popping up on YouTube every day. And after Wednesday, you do have the homies popping up on you 2 hours.
On Friday night.
Friday. Yes, you did. And we were all back to it again into the weekend. Sunday, KnoItAllz. Monday, Level Up, and Monday, No Cap Recap.
And that's not even to mention that when we going towards basketball too. Well, we did a show earlier tonight.
Yeah. Also with the basketball, we've got Rather Cavalier starting it back up. Also on Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan, got Bulls coverage. And new this year, we have a Central Division wraparound show with our homies from the Pistons, their post-game podcast. They're chiming in with us as well. We're talking about all NBA Central Division teams, Bucks and Pacers included.
Yeah. Hey, I'll tell you offline, but I got something to tell you. But yeah, man, so we thank everybody for rocking with us. Like Pay said, you watching live on YouTube. Thanks for joining us. A lot of you will hear this on audio, wherever you get your audio podcast. Search Fans First Sports Network, No Cap Recap, and listen to us on your drive home from work tomorrow. The show is uploaded at 2 p.m. on Tuesdays to get you all your football information from myself, the homie Pay, and the little fella Big G, who was having internet issues tonight, but he'll be back next week, I'm sure. I'm sure he'll be back Wednesday on the Steel Curtain Network to pump your brakes with the Triple OG homie Shannon. But yeah, with all that being said, man, check us out. We just guys trying to bring some content and information to you podcast listeners, you sports listeners, or you just want to have a laugh with your crew. So until next week, for myself, for the homie Pay, No Cap Recap, No Lie Recap.
No lie, no lie, no lie.